Hey everyone! Today I want to give you a clear understanding of insulin resistance and weight gain, especially if you're someone who's going through perimenopause or menopause right now. You could be here because you might be noticing a few unwelcome changes, especially around your waistline, with an increase in belly fat. You could also be feeling more tired than usual, struggling with sudden cravings for sweets or other refined carbohydrates, or maybe you've noticed or you've been told that your blood pressure is somewhat elevated. Now, if that sounds like you, these are all signs that a hormone in your body called insulin might not be working as effectively as it could be. It's not at all uncommon for insulin to be uncooperative every now and then, even for the best of us. But if insulin starts behaving uncooperatively too often, it could be the result of something called insulin resistance. As problematic as insulin resistance is for all people, it's an increasingly common struggle for women going through perimenopause and menopause. Insulin resistance can make it harder to manage weight, it can make it harder to keep steady energy levels, and even balance your blood sugar levels. So today, I'm going to break down exactly what insulin resistance is, why perimenopausal and menopausal women are more at risk, and more importantly, what you can do right now to prevent insulin resistance if it's not affecting you, or what you can do to reverse it or improve it if you are affected by it. In case we haven't met, my name is Tracy D. Mitchell. I'm a board-certified Mayo Clinic health and wellness coach, and I'm the author of a book called The Belly Burn Plan. I hold a master's degree in health and nutrition education, and for the last 20 years, I've been helping women like you live their healthiest life. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel to get regular video updates, each created with your health in mind. Now, to understand insulin resistance and what you can do to prevent or reverse it, you need to understand insulin. So think of insulin like a well-organized house. When everything is running smoothly, you know where everything belongs, and it's easy to keep things in order. Insulin's like one of your house managers that keeps everything in its place, helping your body put energy where it belongs and keeping things tidy and balanced. But as you go through perimenopause or menopause, your house manager starts to get a little overwhelmed. Things begin to pile up, especially in areas like your belly where insulin is pushing more and more fat to be stored. If you're not paying attention, the clutter builds and your house or your body starts to feel out of control and less organized. Junk in the form of unhealthy body fat starts to get crammed in all over the place. I want you to learn how to organize your house again. By making a few key changes, you can support insulin, clear out the clutter, and bring your energy levels back to where you want them. Physiologically, insulin grabs sugar molecules in your blood and moves them to different parts of your body. Before menopause, insulin prefers to store sugar in your muscle cells, but through perimenopause and menopause, insulin prefers to store sugar in the fat cells of your belly. Now, I'm not going to dive too deeply into why this happens, but I'll link to another video that explains why belly fat happens more through menopause in the description below, so you can check that out there. Now back to insulin. Another easy way to think of insulin is as the key that unlocks the cells of your body to absorb sugar. When you become insulin resistant, the locks on the doors of your cells become a little rusty and won't open. This means that sugar can't get moved out of your blood, and this is a big problem. As a result, more insulin is released from your pancreas to try to motivate your cells to open up. It's true that insulin resistance can happen to anyone, sadly, at just about any age these days, but during perimenopause and menopause, shifts in hormones make these locks on your cells even harder to open, which is why insulin resistance is becoming more of a problem through this time in our life. Over time, having high insulin levels can lead to more fat storage, especially around the belly area, and it can mess with energy levels, leaving you feeling tired, craving sugar more often, things like that. It can be a vicious cycle. But the good news is that you can absolutely reverse insulin resistance through menopause, or at any other time of your life for that matter. And you can reap all of the benefits that come with controlling your insulin better too. I'm about to give you 3 of my top tips. Just know that the hardest part of getting your insulin under control is getting started. Taking the first steps is hard because it involves change that's outside of the norm of what you would usually do. Now, the most important thing that you can do though is just to take those first steps of action. Your body is truly amazing and it wants you to be healthy. A little bit of effort on your end can go a very long way. So here are the 3 things you can do right now to improve your relationship with insulin and your blood sugars, making insulin work better for you. Number 1, focus on fiber-rich carbohydrates. Eat fiber-rich carbs like vegetables, whole grains, legumes, and fruits. You might hear this all the time, or maybe you hear the exact opposite with people giving you advice to avoid all carbs. Now, in the 20 plus years that I've been working with my clients, the greatest long-term lifetime success they've had have been by eating a variety of foods from all macronutrient groups, including carbohydrates. Quite simply, the best kind of carbohydrates are the types that are unprocessed and full of fiber. Fiber-rich carbs slow down glucose absorption and prevent sharp spikes in blood sugars. This helps insulin stay steady. The fiber in these foods also feeds your beneficial gut bacteria, which has been shown to improve insulin sensitivity and improve your mood and improve digestion. I mean, the list could go on and on and on. A diet higher in healthy fibers from these foods also helps to manage your body's inflammatory response. Women in menopause are more inclined to experience greater levels of chronic inflammation. And it's good to know that eating a diet rich in fiber can also help you manage inflammation as well. Aim for 10 grams of fiber in 3 meals a day for about 30 grams of fiber a day. This can be as simple as a bowl of oatmeal with ground flax seeds and berries. You can get more examples by checking out the description below for suggestions on how to achieve this. Number 2, include both resistance training and aerobic exercise. Physical activity increases insulin sensitivity by helping cells use glucose for energy. When you strength train, let's say you're doing a squat, your muscles contract, and with squats, a couple of the muscles include quads and glutes. As your muscles contract, they absorb glucose or sugar from your blood, lowering your blood sugar levels, making insulin's job easier. On the aerobic side, your muscles do the same thing and become more efficient at absorbing sugars in your blood. Aerobic activity also has a profound anti-inflammatory effect on your body and in fact helps to regulate harmful inflammatory markers. So if you're not doing anything right now, you don't need to worry about lifting extremely heavy weights or running miles to achieve these results. Just get moving. Carve 30 or 40 minutes out of your day to devote to moving your body. Every time you purposefully move your body, you add a little brick on your road to being healthier and more hormonally balanced through perimenopause and menopause. And the last thing that's important for you to do is to work on a good sleep routine. Now, I'd love to say get 8 hours of sleep a night, and that's what you should do, but sometimes our hormones have a very different idea for our body. A sleep routine, however, can at least set the stage for a good night of sleep. When you sleep at night, your brain releases a very important hormone called human growth hormone, or HGH. Insulin and HGH are counter-regulatory hormones. They work in opposing ways to one another. People who get less sleep are more insulin resistant and tend to store more body fat. People who get an adequate amount of sleep, or let's say 7 or 8 hours, are more sensitive to insulin and store less body fat. You want to give your brain all the growth hormone that it can get when you sleep at night. So refining a good sleep schedule is pretty important. 3 things you can do to refine that sleep schedule right now, you can really hone in on it, is to 1, stop eating 2 to 3 hours before bed. This will help you regulate your insulin so that growth hormone can step in and do its job when you do go to sleep. Higher levels of insulin when you're sleeping block growth hormone. Number 2, turn off all of your screens about 90 minutes before bed. This will help your brain release melatonin, another hormone, which will help you feel more tired when it's time for bed. The blue lights from screens tend to block melatonin. And number 3, avoid caffeine after 9 a.m. I know this sounds really early, but caffeine increases cortisol, which should be at its natural peak shortly after you wake up. Allowing cortisol, your stress hormone, to come back down to normal levels throughout the day can make it easier to feel like you're more relaxed and ready for bed. So a recap of what you can do to improve your insulin sensitivity through perimenopause and menopause. Number 1, focus on fiber-rich carbohydrates. Aim for at least 30 grams of fiber a day. Number 2, exercise. Both resistance training and aerobic exercise. Aim for at least 30 minutes of activity a day. And number 3, develop a good wind-down routine for bed. This should be just as important as any ritual or routine you have throughout the earlier parts of your day. Sleep is a great hormone regulator. So that's what I've got for you today. Now, if you've got a suggestion for a topic you'd like to see a video on, go ahead and leave it in the description below. And don't forget to like and subscribe to stay in the know on all things healthy related to you and your journey through menopause. Thanks for stopping by.